Okay, I was asked if I would make a video on how to move files in InDesign. Got a little Smoke Jacket Blues in the background here. Trying out some music here. All right. I briefly mentioned this in class, but it's a very important thing to know when you're moving files from InDesign to another computer. And the problem is with InDesign is that it references files. It doesn't embed files. So if you just took the InDesign file and you put it on your flash drive and you took it home and you tried to open it up in InDesign, you would have problems because you would not have photos, link photos that you need. You would not have fonts that you used on the computer you created it on. And so InDesign would get very confused. It might show you what it looks like, but you're not going to be able to do much with that file outside of InDesign. You won't be able to make a PDF. You won't be able to print that file, make JPEGs or anything. So it's very important that when you move an InDesign file, you must package it. And so that's the process I'm going to go through right now. So let me share my screen and go right to InDesign. And so what I have here in InDesign is a document that I created that is supposed to act like a website interface. It's not going to talk too much about what this project is, but basically if I turn off my guides, you can see that it's a document that has specific text in certain typeface. It has photos, several photos. It has a symbol here, another photo here. The type is in a font that is probably not on the computer that you're going to move this file to. So what InDesign needs, it needs to gather up all of this information here. It needs to package it in a sense. Think of like when you're going to move something to, you're moving and you open up a suitcase and you got to pack all the stuff that, all the pieces. Now InDesign does that for you very quickly, but what's important to know is that this has to be done. So this file is named Yellowstone Landing Page, and again, this was designed as a landing page for a website. So what we're going to do, the first thing you have to do is save the file. And then you're going to go to package it. So I'm going to go to File and Package down here. And when I package this file, it's going to tell me exactly what it's going to collect in this file. So it's giving me a summary of everything that this file contains. These are the fonts that are used. And you can see that there's several fonts, specific fonts here used in this project. It's going to gather all of these fonts. It's going to gather all of the images that are used, the bear, the lake, the Old Faithful, and if we kind of move this around, you can see that there are 4 photos here. There's a bear photo. There's also a screenshot of a bunch of mobile phones here. So it's going to grab all of those. It also tells you what color mode that you created this in. We use the CMYK color mode. Print settings, external plugins, if you used any kind of external plugins, because to open this up, you're going to need those plugins. We didn't use any plugins in this. So anyway, I'm going to click Package, and it says that this publication must be saved. So let me save this now. And I'll just save it as Yellowstone Landing Page to my desktop. So I'll click Save. Okay, so now it's giving me the Create Package folder here. and you're going to see that these are the things that it's packaging up. It's going to collect all your fonts, all your link graphics. It's going to update graphic links in the package. In other words, if you did any kind of updating, it will automatically update. It's going to include what's called an IDML file. And an IDML file is a file that you would open if you had an older version of InDesign. In other words, I've created this on the latest version of InDesign, but let's say I'm moving it to a computer that has an older version. Well, an older version will not open up a newer version. Okay, a newer version will open up an older version, but an older version won't open up a newer version. So you have to make sure that the version on your computer is the same version that you used to create it. Anyway, hopefully that won't sound too confusing. But the IDML file is important, so if I went to an old computer, I would open up the IDML file. Now, like I explained in class, if you created it on a new version of InDesign that had upgraded features, it's not going to be applicable to the old version that you're opening it up on. Okay, those new versions aren't going to show up. So that's something that you want to think about. If you used any kind of new updated versions, it's not going to work on the old version. So anyway, it will also make you a PDF file, a print file. And that's kind of nice if you need to email this to a client or whatever. So you get the PDF file included. So once I click package, I'm going to direct it to the desktop. Let me direct where I'm going to save this to. So I'll save it to the desktop, and I am going to package this up. It's going to name it the same name as the file itself. So this is Yellowstone landing page. This is going to be the Yellowstone landing page folder. Save to the desktop. I'll click package. I'll click OK. And there is the folder. Okay, now inside of this folder, it'll be everything that you need to open this file on a different computer, on another computer. Now, obviously, you have to have InDesign on that other computer, but you'll be able to open this clean. So if I open up this folder, you can see that inside of this folder we have all of the fonts. Okay, these are the fonts used. We have all of the links. These are the photos that are used in this document. And we have the actual InDesign file, the INDD file, and that's the file you would open if you had the exact same version that you created it on. If you have an older version, you're going to open up the IDML file, and then here is your PDF file. So all of this is nicely packaged in a folder for you, and what you would do is at this point take this and drop it on your flash drive, and then take your flash drive to the other computer and open up your InDesign file. Everything should open up smooth, and you should have no problems. Okay, now another thing to remember is that if you are going to bring that file, let's say you're a student and you started it in class and you want to finish it at home, you package it up at school. Now when you bring that back to school, you're going to have to package it up at home again, and then so it'll open up clean at school. Maybe when you were at home you used different fonts or you added a picture. InDesign needs that to open up at school, okay, on the school computers. Okay, so packaging is something that you have to do when you're moving files from computer to computer, whether it's at home or in the office or wherever. Okay, with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen, and that is the video on moving files in InDesign.